Whew, that is the last time I'll let Deadpool drive the Fantastic Car. Ugh. Well, hello YouTube. I was just at Battle World and man did I get lost. Ugh. So lost in fact it took me a few months until I got back home. Well, now that I'm back, might as well do a video. What should I do? Oh, I know. I'll review one of my favorite Spider-Man video games. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. This is actually a pretty fun game, actually. Instead of playing as just Spider-Man, you get to play as 4 different versions of Spider-Man. You have your classic Amazing Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man, not the cartoon Ultimate Spider-Man, because I know so many of you hate that, except me. Deal with it. Spider-Man Noir, which at the time not a lot of people knew this character even existed, myself included. And Spider-Man 2099, who ever since being in this game, he has been everywhere. He's even getting a new comic this October. Yeah, this guy sure knows how to get around. I guess everyone in the future knows how to. Well, anyway, the story for this is very simple. It's just a night in a museum, and Mysterio just happens to show up. You know, old fishbowl for a head guy. He's after this weird tablet that's in the museum that he believes will make him rich. Of course, who comes to stop him but Spider-Man? And during their fight, Spider-Man accidentally breaks the tablet as Mysterio uses it to block a punch to his face. And by doing so, it not only shatters the tablet, but a weird burst of energy comes out. Then Madam Web shows up and she says, yeah, you kind of just destroyed the Tablet of Order and Chaos, which is going to destroy every dimension in existence unless you can gather up all the pieces. Unfortunately, some of the other fragments wound up in other dimensions. So we're going to have to call on the help of other Spider-Men from those dimensions to gather up the pieces. Which is how we get all the other Spider-Man in this game. As the game goes on, you play as a different Spider-Man for a different level. There's no free roaming in this game, which I know a lot of people love that in Spider-Man games, myself included. But it makes up for it with really nicely designed levels, really good dialogue, and of course, very unique animation, because if you really pay attention to each universe, you notice that each universe has a different animation theme. For the Amazing Spider-Man, it looks like a comic book brought into a 3-dimensional environment, which looks really good. I just wish they would make video games look more like that. For Marvel, like seriously, they want to make their games look more like the inside of comic books. Just make them look like the Amazing Universe. Ultimate Spider-Man, everything's a little shinier, a little more like what you'd expect from the Ultimate Comics. Still good. Spider-Man Noir, the animation is completely different, but it's like a much darker tone. Of course, because it's like noir, black and white. Well, there's some color, but it's really dull. And of course, if you're like completely bathed in the dark, everything's just black and white almost, and it's beautiful. And 2099, it's meant to look really, well, realistic, and I love it because of that. It just looks so nice. Besides the animation, the combat's pretty good. Each character has a slightly different move pool and has different abilities. In fact, Ultimate Spider-Man, which is wearing the black suit, he can unleash all kinds of tentacle attacks. Heck, there's Amazing Spider-Man, he just does like web-based combat where he'll make like a giant hammer out of webbing. And there's Spider-Man Noir, who just does like up close and personal combat, while 2099, he's like just going everywhere. He's like super fast, he's like kicking people at high speed. It's really fun. Plus there's a lot of villains, especially villains that have never actually shown up in the comic books of these respected universes. Like we'll see like a noir version of Hammerhead. Now, not to spoil anything else, that's as much as I'm going to tell you, but you have to play the game to see all the different characters. Plus, if you don't know some of these characters, there's actually bios in this game which tell you about each Spider-Man and their villains. So if you're ever stumped, you can just go into the extras and just browse for your own amusement. Also, so on top of that, there's just so much to love about this game. The best part about it is that you can get variant costumes for each of your Spider-Man. Back when this game was first brought out, it had extra costumes that you can get using a cheat code, which were the Cosmic Spider-Man costumes. Unfortunately, if you missed your window or you didn't have internet access with your Xbox or PS3, well, you're out of luck. Unfortunately, I was out of luck. Well, anyway, it's really fun. You get to see all your favorite versions of Spider-Man in a video game. You get to hear all their different dialogue, which is actually really humorous. In fact, this game really got me into... I really got into Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man 2099 because of this game. And if any of you ever want to play a good Spider-Man game, but you don't want it to be like super difficult or just boring, then get this game. You will not be disappointed. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to go back to Battle World for another week. I think I left my phone there. I think I got some new apps on there that I want to show you guys. So, I'm going back to Battle World. Well, this is Lucas, the Prince of Darkness, signing off.